Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Tokyo Tropic Turtles Draft Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 24. So, this is the final pre-recorded episode before things will go back to normal again. But anyways, if you didn't catch the last episode, we unfortunately lost in the ALDS to the New York Yankees, who also took out the good Houston Astros. But this time around, we lost in 5 games, and it was very unfortunate because we actually started the series off relatively good. With our first 2 games being wins on home field. However, then we lost 3-1 and 4-3 in New York. And then we also tried to rally back a little bit too late against the Yankees in Game 5, but unfortunately we couldn't do so. The main reason is because they scored 3 runs in the 8th inning, and that made it a 4-1 game, and then we could only score 2 runs of our own in the bottom of the 9th, and we just could not win. So, unfortunately, we packed our bags a little bit earlier than I would like to have, just because of the fact we were the best team in the entire baseball atmosphere or baseball world, to be honest. So I thought we were going to win intentionally up to the ALDS at least, or ALCS, and have a chance to go to the World Series, but unfortunately the Yankees seem like they're a pretty good team this year. So it's going to be them and the Angels in the ALCS. Meanwhile, Arizona and Washington will be in the NLCS. So will be interesting to see who ends up winning the World Series this year. If we end up losing to the best team in the world, so to speak, the World Series winner, that would be nice. But we obviously have still a lot of work to do with this team. Our pitching, I would say, was very good, because obviously we had some good effort from like Iwamura, Nguyen, that type of thing. But some guys really struggled, like Kazuhito Hayashi kind of had a really rough outing in his first playoff game. Walter Cho was really bad as a reliever. He is a pending free agent. However, I do think he might come back, depending on his money situation. Also, I think it was, who was it? Oh yeah, it was Yamashita who also struggled. He blew a game for us, and that was also kind of costly at the end of it. So a couple guys in the bullpen really didn't do as good as I was hoping for. But our main trouble was definitely our offensive load. We had a couple guys like Yokoyama really struggle, because obviously Yokoyama, great contact hitter in the regular season, batting a .301. Well, in the playoffs, he only batted a .59. And then you have also Yamazaki, who is also relatively solid at 250. Is okay compared to some of these guys on the team. Kevin Sato was fantastic on a 353. And then Tom Lee was definitely the best on a 300, but he had 2 home runs in that span. Sasaki was okay at times, but you got like guys on below 130 and stuff like that. Oka was really good. Charles Nomo was solid at times. Vincent Seo was dreadful. So a lot of those guys that were okay during the regular season really didn't live up to the expectations in the playoffs, especially Yokoyama, I would say. So I'm definitely hoping for better performances from him down the road, considering he is getting paid $9.9 million. But we should still have a good team enough next season to make it back to the playoffs again, at least. So it was a good experience for the young guys to get back in, or get into the playoffs for the first time. Now it's all about maintaining our team, hopefully drafting some good players as well, just for the future in a sense. But I think our roster should be pretty good next year, because if we go even to the depth chart right now, it's saying that our team should be looking something like this potentially. So there is a chance that we'll get a lot of guys with some good overall boosts for next season, which could definitely give us a better chance at winning some games. So anyways, there's that. Let's simulate to the offseason and see who ends up winning the World Series this year, if it's going to be the Yankees or not. Will it be the New York Yankees? It will be the Diamondbacks beating the Angels. So no, it's not the Angels, who were in our division. And I did say about, I think 2 episodes ago, that the Angels were actually looking like a team that was coming back in the season, and they just barely lost the World Series in 7 games. So what do the Diamondbacks look like? I thought they were going to be good too, because they were also a team that was really good during the regular season, but they were a wild card team, which was interesting. What did the Diamondbacks look like when they just won this World Series? Their pitching looks pretty solid. Okay, not the craziest rotation or bullpen in the world, to be honest. They must have some good hitters for sure in their lineup. And that's something that we're still kind of like developing and needing. So hopefully we can do that for next season. Yeah, they have some really good contact hitters and stuff. Ethan Salas is 99. Jeez. Yeah, they have some good players. And that's something that we just don't have. So I could kind of see why they would go on and win a World Series rather than us. But obviously, if we could get our team to just start developing more, get some good prospects in, we're going to definitely be a team that can win a World Series, I think. It also depends if we could keep this team together, which I'm hoping that obviously we could do that. So let's simulate to the offseason and get to our signings and all that. So Our first base coach decided to retire, which is not ideal. We are going to need to replace Sergio Navarro, so we'll do that. And then we also need a manager and a third base coach, because apparently both their contracts have ended as well. All right. Terms of retirements, did we lose anybody I drafted? No, we did not. We just lost the filler players. I don't know if we're going to need any filler players for next season, but got to keep note that once again we lost a total of 7 pitchers. It always seems like it's 7 pitchers for some weird reason. All right. No Hall of Fame inductees this season. And exclusive free agent negotiations. Brian Chu's the only one. I should probably bring him back, but I feel like he's not needed. Like, we have a lot of shortstops, and he's kind of like fallen down the depth chart, so to speak, on shortstop. Because, yeah, Dusty Kim's technically better than he is already, or almost in a sense. And then William A. Bike will probably be in the MLB next season. Even though he's been kind of not great at the minor league level, he might be in the majors next year. It might be him and Oka. Or Oka and then nobody else. Yeah, I think I'm going to let go of Brian Chu. He might be the first one that's actually going to be gone from this team. I'm just trying to think. Do I want to let him go? What does he want in terms of money? Like, I don't think we have the most money in the world to spend either. 2.2, 3.2 a season. It's not too expensive, but I might need that money elsewhere. Because right now Oka's still, yeah, Oka's gonna need money for sure. 3.2. How much is that? Like, how much is that compared to Sato? He would be making more than Kevin Sato is right now. Kevin Sato is gonna cost us a lot too eventually. So I think, yeah, Brian Chu is going to be the first guy I actually let go of from this roster, just because I don't really see him on our major league team coming up. He's been kind of a mixed bag too. He's not been good in average, like his career average is a 219. So I'm going to let him go. He could be still a free agent at the start of the season, but not going to bring him back for now. But we do need our first base, a third base, and our manager, so let's get those done. Let's try and get in some good managers and stuff like that, because that could help our team out as well. He's not going to have a lot of interest probably to come here. It looks like first base and third base coaches. We need guys with not a lot of negative if possible. Is there anybody that could help my contact hitting and stuff? Reaction, durability, and fielding. That's not too bad. I'm trying to see here. Durability, reaction, blocking. And let's just go to that one that was at the top, because might as well see if he'll want to come here. It's a lot of interest. That's good. And we also need the third base coach. So I'll try to go for the other one with not a lot of negative as well. There we go. So we'll offer those guys contracts. So there is our coaches. Maybe we'll still need to sign a manager. And then, yeah, Brian Chu is not going to get signed, which might be still a risk, but hopefully he doesn't sign anywhere else. Then maybe we could bring him back on a cheaper deal at some point. Sim 2 free agency 1. Let's do that. Yeah, that guy's not interested in becoming a manager anymore with us, of course. I thought that was going to happen when I saw that his interest wasn't super high. Let's see. Trying to find a manager that would work well for our team. Like, give us a better chance in terms of hitting. Bunting, plate discipline, break, and blocking. Let's give Oh, wait, Pedro Sixto was our guy last year, wasn't he? I feel like I've had this guy before, so maybe I could get him back again. That'd be nice. No. Okay, so 40-man roster. We have 38 guys already on our 40-man roster. Wow. Oh, man, and Kenny Rabo and William May Bayek are the type of guys that need to jump onto it. So, Kenny Rabo is another guy that should be maybe on our major league roster next season, based on his overall and all that stuff. Up to a 79. William A. Bayek needs to also be added, even though he's not very good yet. We need to add him because he's an A prospect. Those other guys, to be honest, aren't going to be that good right now. Like, some of them have potential, like Tom and Pete Quo. They have been good pitchers, but they're already like 25, 26 with not a high overall yet, so I don't think it's necessary to add them yet. I'm still going to check and see if there's anybody that's not under 40-man that should be. So we got to go over to his part and see if there's anybody that is eligible for it. Man, I need to go through each league, I guess, to do this. There would be nobody in single A, probably. But in terms of, like, double A and triple A, let me see. Pico doesn't matter. Like I said, I don't think he's going to get signed. Yamada's not going to get picked up. Wonyan Chang, not going to get picked up. Kyo Yamamoto, probably not because he's 28. Sal Chen could get claimed. He could get claimed. He's only 23. But is he worth adding to our roster thing right now? Probably not. If some of these guys get claimed, so be it. It's just, at this stage, I don't think some of them are worth adding to our 40-man roster at this stage. So, let's see what else we got here. I could add Vincent Chang, of course. I think I should actually add him, which means I might need to actually remove somebody from our 40-man roster. Tadahito Taguchi's the worst one on our 40-man. He's not even close to being ready yet either. Who would I remove? Probably Michael Fong would be a good one to remove from our 40-man roster. So, let's remove Michael Fong. He'll have to go through waivers. Brian Shin is another guy that's almost getting lost in the fray, so to speak. Same with Philip Nishi. I am going to add Vincent Chang to our 40-man roster, even though he's technically not going to be Rule 5 eligible. He's probably a guy that's in the majors next season, so let's add him to our 40-man roster. Let's just see if there's anybody I would also need to add here, because I might have to cut some more people from the 40-man, which is unfortunate. David Lim, I don't think he's going to get claimed. He's a good overall, though, for a 23-year-old, so I think he could get claimed, but and his strikeouts per nine is really nice, too. Oh, boy. I don't know if he's going to get claimed, David Lim. He might be one that I have to add to it just in case. Tom Ann, we already mentioned about. Michael Fong, who we just sent down. Russell Yang. Okay, the rest of this should be fine. Jeff Ishii's okay. Koji Yamazaki technically has the potential, and also he could get claimed, but I don't think he's MLB ready yet, so I'm going to leave him as a guy that could get claimed, but he probably won't. There's Richie Chen, who will be on our one of our teams next season. Oh boy, should I add that reliever in David Lim? I feel like I should, probably. Which means, who the heck do I remove from the 40-man roster? I hate being at this stage where you have to actually remove guys. I would probably say, who's the oldest guys? Brian Shin. It's either Shin or Nishi, probably. And I probably would lean towards Shin, because I didn't even draft him. He was a Rule 5 pickup. So let's do that. Let's do that, and then we'll add that relief pitcher, just because I don't want that relief pitcher to get taken. I know it might be dumb if he's not ready yet even anyways, but still. So we'll do that, boom, and we should be good in terms of all that. Salary arbitration and contracts, oh boy. Salary arbitrations, there's some interesting guys here. David Naw obviously was in the MLB. Was he in MLB last year? No, I think he was in AAA last year, right? Or was it Matsui I sent down? Maybe it was Matsui. How much are these guys trying to go for? 2.1. I should probably at least offer arbitration to them. Like, if I offer arbitration, how much is that? $14.50. Yeah, I probably should offer arbitration on a lot of these dudes, just to hold on to them. Like, Champlain Winfield doesn't matter at all because he's just a filler player, so I could just let him walk. But Raymond Park wasn't even on the MLB team in the playoffs last year. Huh. What is he trying to get? Arbitration, 780. Let's just offer some arbitration to some of these guys, just to hold on to them. I don't want to sign these guys long term, most of them, so holding them on to them for arbitration seems like okay to me. Michael Wong isn't even ready yet. Oh boy, he's not even probably really useful anyways. But arbitration, I'll offer them arbitration, see if they want to come back. Yamashita is solid. Wasn't he good during the regular season? Yeah, he was in the regular season, not so much in the playoffs. Only 26 years old, does have multiple years of arbitration, so you know what, we're going to keep him going to arbitration for now. And yeah, same with David Naw. He's also going to get arbitration. So they're on the arbitration front. Tender contracts, I'm going to have to do this stuff on my own, but I will show you guys a couple of the big guys. Because we got Kazuhito Hayashi, Vincent Tan to re-sign, and Vincent Chang as well. He doesn't have enough time to play in the MLB, so he's going to be at least cheap. So that's good. But Vincent Tan. Oh, actually, he hasn't played enough to be also? Wait, what does it say? Vincent Tan doesn't have enough MLB service to be eligible for salary arbitration, so I could offer him a long-term deal if I want to. But he also has a lot of leeway with his contract, right? For a few more years. We'll just go renew contract with him. Perfect. Okay. Kazuhito Hayashi, though, also does not have enough, or I could try and lock him up right now. What is he trying to get? 5 years at 13 million only is not really that bad. However, obviously, didn't he be a free agent by that time period? I'm guessing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'd be pretty much a free agent. If I go more than 5 years, he does try to get paid quite a bit. I don't know if I could justify spending another lot of money on a pitcher with like Iwamura being up for renewal soon too. I mean, I could do a backloaded contract. Trying to think of what I could do here. Payout structure, backloaded. We want to go to 1 year and get this all the way up to like 10 plus million. Do the trick here, but I want to see what we could get him for. 10 years. To be honest, that's not really this isn't really that bad. It would be $11.4 million a season on a normal payout structure. Now that's not that bad. That's way less than some of our other pitchers. So, you know what? We're going to do that with Kaz. I think 11.4 season's not really that bad. I don't think it's that bad. So let's try and offer him that. And the rest of these guys should be easily able to come back with some... these renewal contract scenes, a lot of them don't have enough experience yet to get big-time deals. So I should be able to get through this relatively quickly. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, so we got everybody offered contracts to, except for Brian Shin and Michael Fong, because they're both going through waivers at the moment. And also, one of the filler players is also not getting a contract because he wants some terms, so I'm going to let him go for now. Obviously, we could bring him back if we actually need to fill up our roster a bit more, but everybody should accept. I'm really excited to see if Kaz will accept that contract, because to be honest, $11.4 million for after that rookie season, I think is a fantastic deal. It also isn't too breaking the bank too much, so I think it's a good contract. I think it also doesn't handicap us too much to not re-sign somebody like Parker, which is good too. So hopefully he accepts that. That's the most important one we have going forward, and that's all good. So I think we're ready to simulate to free agency too. It'll be interesting to see if Brian Chu signs anywhere. We'll definitely take a look at that when we get closer to the regular season, if it does not pop up before then. So let's continue to simulate a little bit. We do get our first base coach, which is nice. And the Giants decided to claim, actually, Michael Fong off waivers. I'm kind of surprised about that. The Giants have not been a good team in the last few years, so maybe that's why they decided to claim him. But Michael Fong was somebody that I didn't really need after a certain point. So he has been claimed, but that's all right. Let's stop the simulation here just to see if we got our guys back that I was offering contracts to. Philip Nishi didn't actually get an offer yet, so I have to actually give him still one. So he's an important one. Kiyo Yamamoto still has his contract, and that's good. Okay, perfect. So that means Kaz did accept that extension, then, right? Yep, $11.4 million a season for 10 years. I think that's relatively good. Obviously, it takes him until he's 36, so that's a little bit of a risk. But I think that's a nice little contract, especially after what he did in his rookie year. And like I said, Parker's getting cheaper and cheaper each year. But afterwards, obviously, we're going to have to pay him some big bucks. Stan's still signed for a number of years. Walter is still also signed for a number of years, but he's getting cheaper each year too. And then obviously, Vincent Tan's the next one that's going to get a big contract at some point. And we could have Kenny Rabu potentially in our lineup next year too, which is an interesting dilemma because I don't know if he would be like an actual starting pitcher. And then we can move Walter to like a long reliever or something like that. Like there's potential there for next season. All right. So I think we're ready to continue to simulate. I don't think Brian Chu signed anywhere yet, right? Yeah, I don't know when Brian Chu is going to sign somewhere. I'm curious to see if he actually does get a contract somewhere and where he ends up playing. Let's go no on that front. Let me see if Brian Chu's signed anywhere already. If I could, yeah, I can go player search already. That's good. Did Brian Chu sign with a different team yet? No, he did not. Actually, he did. No, he's a free agent now. So we'll see if he ends up signing anywhere. It might have been a big risk letting him just go. I could have probably brought him back, to be honest, but I honestly don't really think we need him too much. I could bring him back again still to start next season, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. All right, so we still have the salary arbitrations. Those contracts are still getting worked on. Akio should accept soon. Brian Shin can get an offer now because he actually passed through waivers. So I'll still probably hold on to him just because we need outfielders in the system. So we'll just go 850K for him and see if he'll accept that. Juan Nieves does not need to come back at all. He might need to come back at the start of next season, but not too sure on that. All right, let's keep on simulating the rest through this offseason. We ain't making no trades in the series, not yet. No. All right, so Brian Shin still has not accepted yet, but obviously he should soon. We're going to still continue to simulate. Let me actually take a look and see if Chu signed anywhere yet. Again, just because I am still curious on that. Like, he's our first player that we drafted that's actually gone to free agency, and he has not signed yet. Okay. Like I said, if he's still a free agent at the start of the season and we have the money, maybe we'll bring him back. But right now, not going to do it. Damn, that said Rick Pines actually changed teams. He was just like the reliever of the year, so that's kind of an interesting one. Thomas Sims, who was actually just playing against us in the Yankees. Eddie Chavez, Kenny Bryant. Just trying to see if there's any familiar names. And we get our manager, which is good. Let's see. Did the Chu sign with anybody? Chu. I feel like we have most of the guys with the last name Chu in the league. Brian Chu did get a contract. Okay, so he gets a contract, a one-year deal with the Tigers. So he will probably be to play in the majors. He's getting 2.9, so we literally could have got him for right around the same price. Honestly, I could have played him if I wanted to in AAA, but I don't really care too much. He could be a free agent again in the future, and we could bring him back, but that kind of sucks. If we get him offered him in a trade at some point and we want to, maybe we could trade for him, considering he used to be ours. I don't know exactly how I want to work that, but that could be something. But I don't even think we really needed him anyways, just with the log jam of shortstops and stuff. So I think we're good to continue to simulate, because the Rule 5 draft is around the corner, as well as the draft lottery results, which obviously we're not a part of really because we made the playoffs. So we aren't going to have a good pick this year, which kind of sucks, but hopefully there's no generational Asian, because or else that would be the worst case scenario, is of course the year we make the playoffs, there would be a really good player. All right, so Rule 5. Actually, the draft lotteries first. Yeah, we have no chance to actually win the lottery because we were a playoff team. So we're going to have the 24th overall pick this year, which is quite late. However, with the lack of Asian talent in these draft classes, if there's no generational Asian, it won't be that bad for us. The Giants have the best odds for the number one pick, them, the Mariners, and the Red Sox. So we'll see who ends up winning the draft lottery this year. Who will be taking home the number one prospect? The Giants, I think, have had the first pick before. Will they win it again? No, they will not. It'll be the San Diego Padres, which is where that closing pitcher, actually not closing pitcher, that catcher went that we wanted to get last year went. So that Padres team is building up some good prospects, I guess. They get first with 13.2% odds. The Phillies moved up 7 spots with only 2.7% chance for that number one pick. Damn. Boston at 3, Giants at 4, Marlins at 5. All right. And of course, we have number 24. Oh, if we would have won the World Series, we would have had number 30, but 24 is an interesting spot for us. Never picked that late before, so hopefully we could get something good still at that stage. Most of the players that we've been drafting pretty high up have been guys that have been predicted to go late in the first round anyways, so it's not going to make that much of a difference, I feel like, unless there's a guy that's actually supposed to go first overall that we could have added. We do not have any space on our 40-man roster, so I can't take anybody. Did we lose anybody in this Rule 5 draft? That's what I'm curious on. Let's see. Craig Fry, Cortez. Roland Park was not ours. No, he was not ours, but he is an Asian. I don't even remember this guy being in a draft class, but 73 out of 29, I'm surprised that guy got claimed by the Tigers as well. So the Tigers trying to go full Asian too, apparently. Everybody else is not an Asian guy, so we did not lose anybody. Nice. That is good. All right, so all that is good to go. Arbitration, these guys will still have their hearings. We're good to continue to simulate. Let's just keep skipping through these notifications. We're not making no trades. Why did it stop randomly here in February? Oh, yeah, probably the arbitration stuff. Okay. Actually, no, that's probably next. But look at our rankings in terms of everything. It's pretty good. Our only area that's really not that good is shortstop, apparently, in center field. But obviously, the shortstop should be continuing to develop. And the center fielding spot is, yeah, someone who we definitely don't have a lot of prospects. So at least having some right fielders and left fielders, they could play at center field as well. All right, so arbitration, Matsui will be getting $13.60 for the next season. There's a chance that he might be sent down to the minors if he has options, which I think he still does. It depends on how I feel about his roster spot. Walter Cho also gets $11.50, pretty much. Michael Wong will be getting $12.20. Yeah, some of these guys don't need to come back in the future. Eric Yamashita is going to get $17.77, so he's getting paid a lot. And then also Raymond Park gets $10.20. All right. David Nahl will get $14.50. Not bad. How much money do we even have on our budget? Quite a bit of space, actually. Yeah, we're doing okay with the money situation. We still got $15 million in budget after all that. I don't mind that. All right, Sim to spring training. What do we got? What do we got for our roster? I'm excited for the draft class to see what that's looking like. These are the guys that are up for renewal in the offseason. I think the big one, obviously, is Kevin Sato. Vincent Tan and Philip Chung at least have a little bit more leeway, I think. Maybe Chung actually is a pending free agent. No, he's got one more arbitration stuff. But Sato is an outright guy that could be heading to free agency. And he's already, how old? 32 years old. Yeah, he's going to cost us a good chunk. So we might have to let go of some people in the next offseason for sure. I would love to hold on to Sato, because he's been our most consistent hitter, I feel like. But I'm not going to give him a contract just yet. But once you guys are able to actually start commenting again, or actually giving me feedback on stuff again, which is going to be the next episode, you guys can start commenting on this stuff. Or on this episode, technically, because this is the last pre-recorded episode. Yeah, you guys are going to have to give me some feedback on all those guys, for sure. All right, so let's see. Who do I want to have on our roster this season? This is going to be interesting. So, Iwamura, Nguyen, Jung, Hayashi, Tan. Irabu should maybe be up here. Does have minor league options still. I could definitely give him a chance based on however he plays in spring training. Relief pitchers will have Sato, Ku, Wong, Yamamoto, Yamashita, and Cho, and Walter Lee. David Lim will probably be sent back down. That's a lot of pitchers already, though. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then 14, 15. Oh, man, we need more closers in the system for sure. Or else we're going to have to use like a relief pitcher as a closer, which isn't a bad idea, actually, to be honest. I might be okay with that. In terms of catchers, yeah, okay. Yeah, we might have to send some people down for sure. Like Raymond Park might have to go through waivers or some shit. No, he actually has all three options, so maybe not. Maybe not. Huh, I'll see how these guys do in spring training first, and then I'll make some decisions on who I want to cut. So let's go to the end of the spring training. Last year we had a really good spring training. Can we have another good spring training? And who is the guys that are going to need to be sent down? Kind of a mixed bag of a spring training. 12 and 19. Wow, okay. I didn't adjust the lineup, so maybe that's why, but wow. That was a little bit of a rougher spring training than I thought. Huh, okay. So obviously we're going to keep these pitchers for sure. Bullpen, Walter Cho really struggled. Ugh, that's not good considering he struggled last year in the playoffs. He does have minor league options though, right? Yeah, he does. Do I want to send him down? No, I like his play during the regular season the last few years too, though. So I probably will hold on to him for a little bit up here. Kenny Rabu was actually really good as a reliever. He'd be probably much better as a starter because he's got good stamina. And we were thinking of maybe moving Walter over to a reliever. So I think that's something we're going to probably test out this year, is Walter as a reliever. So that way we're running still Iwamura, Nguyen, Kazuhito Hayashi, Vincent Tan, and Ken Irabu. Yeah, I think that's going to be what we do. So Walter would be a long reliever. Leonard would be a long reliever. Walter Cho would probably be a mid reliever with Yamamoto and Yamashita. I think Robert Matsui is going to be one of these guys that gets sent down. He does have still options. David Na is also going to be one guy to get sent down. So Na and Matsui, I think I'm going to send both you guys down. Tommy Wong should be up here for sure too. Philip Chung should be up here. Tom Koo. Oh boy, there's so much friggin' players, man. This is going to be getting really annoying. I should probably just write down some stuff. So now that I have a pen and paper, I can actually write down who I should send down, so that way it's a little bit easier to remember. So I am going to send down Matsui. We're also going to send down, who else was it? David Na. We're also going to send down Lim. And we're going to send down Choi. And we're going to send down Nakamura. So those 5 guys are going to go down for now to start. So let's send them down. So first and foremost, Robert Matsui will send you to AAA. And then we also got to send David Na to AAA. So there's 2 guys down. We are going to need to sign more starting pitchers to fill up rosters and stuff, it seems like still, which is kind of annoying. We're also going to have to send down, I said Lim. Lim was a reliever. Right, yeah. David Lim needs to get sent down to triple. And then it was also Austin Choi and Mr. Nakamura. Those guys all got to get sent down for now. Choi still has one more option available, so he is getting close to being a guy that's going to actually go through waivers. And then Nakamura is also going to get sent down. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of our roster to send down. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Actually, do I want to go through that screen? Yeah, probably that screen's better. This was our batting order from last season. So Park has options still. So I think getting sent down. I honestly didn't really like how Taguchi played last year off the bench. I think Taguchi's going to pass through waivers. So Taguchi gets sent down. Both Taguchis, for that matter, times 2. Michael Wong going to get sent back down again. Nishi going to get sent down. Nishi, Wong, Taguchis. Was William Chung actually sent down after we went to the playoffs? I think he did get sent down. Yeah, I think he did. Interesting. Raymond Park, Richard Chen. Probably Chen for sure. Yabu gonna get sent down again, I think. And Choi gonna get sent down as well. So let's send down those guys if I could actually remember them all up, because I wrote them down, but sometimes you can't even read your own handwriting, so it's just like, what the shit do I do? So first and foremost, catchers, Tadahito Taguchi. I think he has options, so that's good. We'll send him down. So that's good in terms of the catchers. First base, we were going to get sent down. We were going to send down maybe Raymond Park, but it depends on the other situation. I do like Raymond Park's power hitting, but he has not been a good average hitter. So we'll see when ends up happening, if we need to still send him down or not, because we can obviously still send down a lot of players. Taguchi is one of these guys I am going to send down through waivers. And there's a good shot he gets claimed, I think, maybe? I don't know, maybe should I keep him up here? But he has been pretty dreadful. But he hasn't also had a lot of experience. You know what? Actually, maybe I keep him up here because we do need second baseman a lot. If I let him go, then he could get claimed. Michael Wong is going to get sent down, though. So we're going to send Michael Wong down. We're also going to send down Robert Yabu. So Yabu will get sent down to AAA. He will use another option. At least he has options still. Richard Chen's going to get sent down. I'm going to adjust if they're in triple or double A off camera probably afterwards. Oka and A. Bayek will be up here. A. Bayek is one guy that could get sent back down again, to be honest, because he's still not developing that contact too good. And he's probably going to struggle at the major league level. Let's be real. Yeah, I think I'm going to send him back down to triple. To be honest, he just doesn't impress me. He has been very bad in terms of his hitting, so I think he needs to address that first before he's up here. Lee Chung is good. Choi is going to get sent down. I think he has options, right? Yeah, one more option for Walter Choi. Philip Nishi's also going to get sent down, too. he goes through waivers, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, he's not hugely that great. I don't remember if we drafted him or not. I feel like we did. And then Tom Cho is not up here. That's all good, I think. But we still need to send down multiple players. Because right now we're at 29, I think, out of 40. Oh, boy. We probably have too much pitchers, right, on the team? Probably have too much pitchers. We have 6 or 5 plus a reliever, technically. Yikes, yeah, we might have to cut down some relievers. To be honest, Walter Lee could get sent back down. I think he was down there last season, so I'm going to send him down if he has options, which he does. So we'll go with him. We need to cut down one more player, I think, potentially, if I'm not mistaken. Who else do I want to cut down? Yamamoto wasn't good last year. He has been a bit of a... Actually, his FIP has been good, but his ERA hasn't. Trying to think of who would not be a good person to keep up here. Is really tough. I could send down Walter Cho after his last few years. Like, he was really bad in spring training, but I do like his play last few years. Vincent Chang technically could come back down, but he's probably better to stay in the MLB because he's an 81 now, and he's a good young prospect. Don't really want to send down any of these three, of course. Raymond Park's probably the best option, to be honest. So I'll send him down to AAA as well. And that should be all the players that we need to send down. We do need to still sign ourselves. Looks like one more closing pitcher. Actually, we have a lot of relievers, so actually we don't even need to sign a closer, I don't think. Because we'll use a reliever as a closer in the system. We do need 3 starting pitchers, though. So let's go ahead and do that before we get, obviously, simulating to the regular season. Actually, we could probably go with simulate regular season now. So let's do that. And let's go to free agents and sign ourselves some starting pitchers for the system. And obviously we could address our rotations, all that stuff. So starting pitcher, we got to sign the worst related people. Spencer O'Shear is actually an Asian, to be honest. So maybe I don't even address his overall. I don't even know if this guy was drafted, though. But I'm probably going to address his overall just because he's not mine. So there's one guy. We also need to sign Will Warren. Sign you up. And Darius Vines will sign you up too. So those 3 guys, let's just quickly nerf them. Normally I don't show the nerfing stuff like this on camera, but might as well just do it for this episode because that you guys can see what I do exactly, which is just lowering literally every attribute except for durability and potential. So we'll get Spencer O'Shear loaded. Hopefully this draft class is still good for us, but I'm hoping that there's an Asian that's good that's not supposed to go too high up, because maybe we could find ourselves a good steal even though we're drafting quite late, because it's just going to make it tougher and tougher now that we're drafting late into games, or not into games, into seasons. So because we're not supposed to get really that much good more prospects, which means the ones that we have are important obviously for the future. So durability is going to stay as a 38. A lot of these guys have really low durability by the end of their careers too, so that's one thing I'm also a little bit worried about, is if we have any injury trouble, because the injuries seem to like pile up quite a bit, especially early on in the season. Will Warren, and then we also got to do Darius Vines here. And once we're done this, we're pretty much almost ready to go. We just need to make sure the rotations are good, the batting order is good, and then we just got to basically take a look at the draft class after a week of simulation. So it'll be interesting to see what our team's looking like at the end of the week. In our season last year, we were 5-4, I think it was, in our first 9 games of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm hoping for similar or better results, because obviously if we have worse results, like we didn't have a good spring training this year, which is really weird considering last year we had a great spring training. So I hope our team didn't fall off too much with some of our adjustments that we've made, which is not really that much, because we literally have the exact same team. It's just we let go of Brian Chu pretty much, I think, who was not even in the MLB. So we shouldn't do worse than last year. We should hypothetically do better. But then again, I don't know if we're going to hit 99 wins again necessarily. I feel like that's something that's tough to do, is to get to 100 wins. So if we hit 100 wins, I will be pretty damn surprised. The other one that I signed was who? Oh, it was starting pitchers. I was in, right? Oh, Darius Vines, there you go. This dude. We still got to adjust our rotations as well. And make sure the right guys are in double, triple A, all that type of thing. But I think this team is still on the right path. Obviously, it kind of sucks how we went out last year in the playoffs, but obviously, it's a learning experience. Those guys never played postseason baseball before. And this year, I think we could easily get back to that same spot again, or further. So, just depends on, I guess, if the contact hitting wants to work in the playoffs. Because, like I said, with Yokoyama struggling in the playoffs, that was probably our downfall. Because if he at least put up better numbers, like he did in the regular season, we could have probably driven in a lot more runs. And also sometimes the bullpen kind of failed us too, for that matter. So it wasn't just on the hitting. It was definitely on the bullpen a bit. And the starters were really good too. So we had some good stuff to definitely take away from that series. All right, so we should be good on that front. Let's make sure. Actually, let me see. Who do we need to send to each league here? So Nan, Matsui, Richie Chen, Douglas Takahashi, and we need one more starter in triple, so I guess I'll move Stuart Chow to triple as well. Then we have these guys all going to be in double. Relievers, Yamashita. Wait, I didn't send down Yamashita. What the hell are you doing, game? I hate when it does that. It automatically does stuff like this. I want Yamashita up here. He was way better during Yamamoto during the regular season. I don't know why it did that. I guess maybe I had too much pitchers or something in the MLB. I want Yamashita up here, to be honest. He's getting paid the most out of these guys. Actually, maybe not at the most. Like, I would probably rather send down Walter Cho if I was going to send down somebody. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could do to get him back up here. You know what, he might end up just being a September call-up or something. But he was really good last year, though. And we'll see how we do first and foremost. Maybe the AI is making a right move. I don't know. A lot of other players in triple, so we got to send a bunch of these guys down to double. So let's just do that here. Send a bunch of guys back down to double A. And wow, we have so many relievers, man. Alan Chan is pretty much ready to go for double, so we'll get him to double. The filler players will stay in single. Michael Yamamoto is probably ready. Richard Cho. Wow, there's so many players. Holy relievers, man. We'll get Pete Quo sent to triple too, for that matter. Jeez, I didn't realize we had so many friggin' reliever prospects. We're literally at 23 out of 15. That's good on that front, I think. Trying to think. Yep, that's good. Yandere Zoo doesn't matter. First base is good. Stanley Suzuki in AAA. Let's put him in double with Russell Lim. Just since we have Yang and Park there already. We have a little bit of a logjam on first base. Second base, we'll have Taguchi up here still. That's looking good. Third base, looking good so far. I feel like one of these guys should get sent down, but Iwamura being a number one second baseman's fine. Dusty Kim in AAA makes sense. Django Chu back in double, I guess, makes sense. Actually, William A. Byatt got called back up again. That's what the AI decided to do. I guess I could take a little bit of a look at him early in the season, and if he is good, maybe we'll keep him up here, but if he's not, I'll send him back down. We'll see how he is on a trial run to start this episode. That looks good. Nishi's still going through waivers. Yeah, I think we should be good. I just need to make sure our batting rotation and stuff like that looks good. So pitching, we are moving Walter over to here. Kenny Rabu will be an actual starter this season. Just because he's got the better stamina and that, we'll move Walter to a long reliever. Vincent Chang is not going to be the closer. Leonard Sato is also going to be a long reliever. We need Tom Koo as the closer. Philip Chung and Walter Cho, 25, 25, 19. Vincent Chang as a mid reliever is okay as well, I guess. We'll leave it like that. That's good rotation. For double A, let's just make sure we have starter prospects in the right spots. And then the filler players too, for that matter. So let's just get those filler players into a starting pitcher role, because that's what they were brought in for. Looks like we don't have enough starters in AA, so I will have to move somebody that's got good stamina. 47. Michael Yamamoto, you're the guy. Oh man, I didn't want to put you on that spot. I hate when the game is a little bit slow. So we'll go with that. AAA. Namatsui, Lim, Takahashi, Richie Chen. Don't mind that. Stuart Chow probably should be up there as a starter instead of David Lim, of course, because David Lim's a reliever, so we'll do that. So we'll get this adjusted. Anybody else a starter in here? No. Okay. Eric Yamashita is the closer. I guess that could be okay. All right, so pitching is good and set up. Batting in the MLB, we won't worry about AAA and AA batting and stuff yet, but let's go with a similar order to last year, because that seemed to work really well. So it was something, if I remember right, along these lines, I think. Oh, wow. Why did Nomo get put there? That's weird. Maybe that's why we didn't do good during the spring training. Huh. Okay. Let's flop that around. Yeah, that looks good. Looks good on that front, so we need to just make sure this is good as well. Taguchi needs to come out. I don't know why Taguchi's getting thrown in here. It's kind of dumb. So we need to change out Taguchi for Yamazaki. Yeah, I think that's why our team struggles. Just the batting order was all over the place. Okay, so we got to get Yamazaki as the number 1. Yokoyama, Sato. Then it was both the Lees. Then it was... Nomo was in the 7th spot. William A. Bike playing against lefties. I guess that kind of makes sense because he's... Actually, how's he against lefties? He's not very good. Oka probably should be in that spot over him, but Oka's worse against lefties. You know what? I guess that's okay. We'll try it out. And then Chung at left field, I don't want. I want Sasaki in instead. Yeah, that looks good. So that's going to be our batting order. Not going to worry about double and triple A just yet. So let's simulate through the first week of the season. Looking to build off last year, and then we'll take a look at what the draft class is looking like, and then I'll be it for this episode at that point. So we have 3 games against the Pirates to start the season. We also have 3 games against Boston and 2 more against Seattle to end the week pretty much, or 3 more technically. Let's go through these first 2 games against the Pirates. We win our first game. AAA doesn't have 2 valid lineups, so man, I have to adjust these lineups already. God damn it, man. First, second, third. Let's just make sure people in the right spots here. Let me swap the 2 of you around. So first, second, third. We do not have a shortstop, so that's where... Who plays shortstop? We don't have a shortstop here. Can any of you play shortstop? Okay, I'm going to have to throw somebody in the... like Darren Hoffman in shortstop for now. I don't really care if Darren Hoffman's not playing in his position. He's not even a prospect of mine. So, we need a center fielder, which we'll go with Kana Fong, considering he's an outfielder already. And then we also need a... What's the last position we need? DH, I guess? We'll go with Russell Lim as the DH, sure. Actually, no, it's the catcher we need. David Koo. He'll come in. Just trying to fill those roster spaces right now. So once again... We will swap these around. So Lim and Suzuki. We'll get Koo in as the catcher. We'll get Kana Fong in as the outfielder. And Darren Hoffman will play shortstop, even though I don't think he can. Yeah, he's got really bad fielding and stuff, but I don't really give a shit about Darren Hoffman. No offense. Alright. In terms of AAA, what do we need in terms of position? We need a first baseman. So that's where Raymond Park will, I guess, play for now. So we'll get Raymond Park in that spot. Actually, does Koji play there? No, he doesn't. Okay, we'll go with Raymond Park for the time being. And there you go. Our lineups are set up and ready to go. So we won our first game of the season by a score of 6-3. The second game, we win 3-2. Off to a 2-0 start. Love to see it. And now our 6 games we have this week. How are we going to start in our first 8? 3 ends. Oh, Oh my goodness, is it a perfect first week? Koji Yamazaki just got injured? At least it's not our Yamazaki in the MLB, but torn MCL for over 6 months. That really sucks for that prospect. A lot. But we are 8-0 in our first 8 games of the season. That's what I like to see, especially coming off of playoff experience. Really good start for the team. Love to see it a lot. We are going to take a look at some player stats here briefly too, I guess. Actually, let's do that first before we take a look at the draft class. Parker's off to a crazy start off his lead. Last year's Cy Young winner. Stan's off to a good start. Kaz off to a good start. Tane off to a great start. And Irabu off to a good start. Walter is doing better as a reliever, which is great. So it seems like the pitching's off to a strong start, except for maybe Philip Chung. But this is looking nice early on. Batting looks really good off the top too, which is good. Ocon at 381. Let's go. Yep, good start to the season. How's Abe Bayek doing? At 250. I'll keep him up here a little bit longer, but let me know what you guys think if I should send him back down or not. But an 8-0 start to the season is fantastic. All right, final thing we got to do to end this episode is take a look at the draft class. Obviously, we do not draft until 24th. So is there any Asians in this draft that we could pick up here? And speaking of really good players, this Jonathan Quintana guy is probably going to be the most insane player we see. Because he looks like he could be literally an 80 to 99 overall. So there's going to be some insane players in this draft based on that, maybe. But is there any Asians that are like that we could steal late in the draft? Let's see. Who is going to be the first Asian name we see? Who is it going to be? So far, lack of Asians, which is fine for us considering we're drafting as late as we are. Wow, that's an interesting last name. Zigafus. What else we got here? So far, no Asians in the first round, which is fine because James Suzuki, a center fielder, we do need center fielding. If you look at our depth chart early in the offseason, said our center fielding spots were not that good. Well, James Suzuki is maybe that guy, so he's definitely somebody I would scout out. He's not supposed to go to the second round, but he honestly could be our first round talent because there's not really anybody else. Ichiro Ishii, the double I, as starting pitcher, so it's some more pitchers, which is good too because we do need pitcher prospects. That's good that there's areas of need at least. Lawrence Matsui is also in the draft class, I think. Yeah, he was the guy that we were looking at before, wasn't it? Like last year or 2 years ago that didn't get drafted, or he got drafted and then he didn't sign with the team he was drafted by. I think so. I think that's that guy. So 3 so far. Kirby Ono, a second baseman. We do need still more second base help. So there's literally a lot of players that we could potentially pick up to give us more depth, which is nice. So that's 4 prospects so far. Charles Chan, another starting pitcher. A lot more Asians than I was expecting in this draft so far. 5 of them, which is nice. But obviously we have a late pick, so that's going to hurt things a little bit. But that's okay. We should be able to get ourselves some more prospects to fill up prices we need to. So, is there any other Asians, though? Now all of a sudden there's no more. Always seems like there's like a lot in one area and then there's a big gap. That's what I've been seeing a lot in these drafts. In terms of how they're constructed. Nakamura, Peter Nakamura, left fielder. We do need some outfielding help, so he would be an okay little late round steal potentially. Could be a good potential dude, so I like that. What else we got? So that's number 6. Albert Takahashi, center fielder. There's a lot of outfielders, which is great because, like I said, that's honestly an area that we definitely struggle in is the outfield. So Charles Matsui, so there's another Matsui. There's a lot more Asians in this draft than the last few years. 8 of them so far. There's probably going to be 9 considering that's usually the case. It's either like 9 or 6. So I won't be surprised if there's only like 1 more. Let's see. Is there another one? Michael Takahashi, a relief pitcher. So there's number 9. And we're still in the top 200. So all these guys should be in the draft class, which is nice too. Is there another one to make it the most Asians we've seen in a while? There is. Jason Oka, another shortstop. Not looking too good, but still. So there's actually a good chunk. Hey, Darren Hoffman, the other Darren Hoffman's back in a draft class again. So some familiar faces. Nori Oka is also supposed to get drafted this year. So That's 11 Asians supposed to go in the top 200, which is very promising. Justin Taguchi just misses out on being a guy that could be in the draft too. So literally there's a good of a chunk of Asians we can definitely go after this year, which is very good. Very, very good. So there is that, and that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of our Tokyo Tropic Turtles Draft Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will start simulating more of year number 13. We'll find out if this team obviously is going to keep on cooking. Obviously, 8-0 to start the season is just exactly what I wanted to see after going to the playoffs last year. I think we should easily be a playoff team again this year, but also I'm hoping that we have a good draft just in case for some reason we have a little bit of setbacks. Send anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.